Hey, before we start the show, just wanted to let you know that No Inner Monologue is available on all your favorite podcast providers. And now on YouTube. Don't forget to check us out on social media at No Inner Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and No Inner Monologue on Facebook. Now, enjoy the show. Previously on No Inner Monologue.
I told Joe, I said, you're a bottomless pit. You'll eat fucking anything. And gout is definitely in your future.
From the 7-ish Studios in Mississauga, Ontario, it's the No Inner Monologue podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back to No Inner Monologue. I'm Joey Mangione.
I'm Tasha Morrison.
Dwen Nerona.
And from all the way in the Philippines.
Sitting in a wind tunnel somewhere.
Yeah, we're having a lot of static.
Hello, everyone.
Who are you?
I am your favorite
Let's
uncle.
not go too far.
Favorite creepy uncle.
It's Manuel.
It's good old-
It's been well.
it's been well,
By the time he
guys.
gets to
There
it,
we
it'll
go.
be
It's
an
been
hour and a
always-
half.
Buddy, the show will be over. We missed you last week, Manny. I guess there was some
I
scheduling
know,
conflicts.
You
sorry,
speak
I
for
couldn't make it.
yourself,
I
you
had-
son of a
I had
bitch.
technical difficulties.
That's okay, buddy. You're here now, and we have Tash and Dwen here, and we're continuing. I know, we have everybody here. It's exciting.
It's like an intro twice.
Exactly. I'm like Vincent twice. Vincent twice. We are continuing our, I guess, exploration into our cultures. Last week we did...
I don't like when white people say exploration into
I
cultures.
know, yeah.
They're just going to take it over
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah. I got
Sons of bitches.
Yeah. Privilege.
Let it out now.
Yeah,
guys.
we've
Just
learned
let it all
about
out.
privilege this week, haven't we?
Wait, what?
Privilege?
That whole college school thing.
Oh, that's just rich people.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's some black people in that, for sure.
Hey guys, sorry about all
I
that,
don't think there is.
that interference we're getting. I think Manny's connection's a little bit wonky.
He's having a fight with his mic.
So just be prepared to keep hearing Manny cutting in and out if that's a possibility, and we apologize in advance.
Yes.
So this week, because last week we concentrated on Italians and being Italian, there goes Manny.
Yeah.
So this
Being
week,
Italian. That's
yeah,
what we should have called it. Damn it.
I liked the title Tash came up with.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite delightful.
That's because you just like being cheered on. That's all that is. Just like, oh, people said bravo to me. And then some other words that I don't understand because they're not from my time.
Honestly, I felt like I did like a whole like Italian because I watched the assassination of Gianni Versace.
Okay.
Which
I'm
was
sorry to
big-
hear that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You didn't like it?
I thought it was terrible.
Really?
Well, because I saw
O.J. Simpson.
the O.J. Simpson one.
Right.
And that one was so good.
So well done.
The thing I didn't like about it was they kept following the guy, right? They kept following the
killer?
The killer.
Right.
But like a lot of those scenes are him and a person that he kills. How do you know any of that happened?
Right.
It did.
It's all
I was reading.
speculation.
It did happen.
Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's like dramatized,
If
right?
if it's you and me and you kill me and then eventually kill yourself, who's gonna know what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
exactly.
Anyways, so yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, you
Yeah,
watched that show.
Yeah, I watched that. I watched that movie Oscar that I was talking about with
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone and my like the puppet thing in the beginning. I did like a lot of like Italian stuff.
Wait,
I ate
what?
pasta. I ate pasta and watched like a De Niro movie. I don't even
Then you
remember which
buried
one.
somebody in the backyard. Owed you money.
Oh,
You know what movie I watched? It was The Family.
Oh my god, I've seen what?
That's
What did you take all of the worst Italian things
Yeah,
ever and
I
put it
did.
together?
That was
I
like
did.
the worst of the De Niro movies.
I know, but I
and he
liked
did
it.
Bad Grandpa.
I know, yeah.
That was funny.
It's so bad, but it's,
It's
so funny.
so bad, but it's so good. Anyways, that was a quick recap of Italian culture.
Yeah.
According to Tash.
According
to
to
me,
Tasha
Yes,
Morrison.
according to well, you learned nothing from last week, eh?
I've
It's just
learned
like,
nothing.
You just went in. You just went in with. Oh, okay. Italian people, pasta,
De Niro.
De Niro, Stallone.
Stallone.
Awesome.
Assassination.
Anyways, this week we move it on to our dear Dwenny's culture
I'm so
of
excited.
Indian. I don't know where I went with that. I started the sentence and I had nothing. I'm like,
India?
Of all people,
India.
you asked Joe to do
It actually could have been worse.
The man was the MC at my wedding. I think he can control a
Yeah.
crowd. I know he.
What a mistake.
Mistake number one.
No, see, your mistake here tonight is that I'm not inebriated.
We have a caller.
We have a caller.
Yes.
Somebody's calling in.
Hey, caller. You're in with no inner monologue. Manny, can you hear us?
Manny, can you hear us? Manny, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Manny? You've been hit by some bad Wi-Fi.
That was really good.
I can't hear. All I hear is great laughter.
No, that's exactly what's happening, Manny. We're just laughing.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
We'll try and have a more somber tone for you.
Well, Manny.
I told you guys it's just Mole Man in the morning for me.
Okay, that's a Simpsons
Simpsons
reference.
That's a Simpsons
Awesome.
joke. Simpsons joke number one. Ding.
Yeah,
we
we
don't-
did
we
not
don't- we
miss
d-
those last week.
We don't do that on this podcast.
What podcast? So, I noticed that last week there was no mention of something I know of me being part Italian.
Oh yeah, no, we've already talked about Italian culture. We don't need to go back to it. We're talking about Indian culture now.
Yeah, we've already. I mean, how many times can we change your origin story for you?
Yeah. If you say you're part Indian, I'm leaving. I'm
No.
leaving.
He's gonna claim to
But
be part Jamaican
I am
too.
part Native American.
You what?
See, now he's Native American.
No, he's native.
Local to South America.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
no, not saying it.
No.
No,
Just don't.
Not
just,
saying it.
just don't.
No.
Okay.
How come you were lucky enough to not have him for your episode?
I don't know, man. Italians lie, cheat, and steal. I guess I don't know.
This guy's that's Mexicans, man. That's Eddie Guerrero. Don't get it. Yeah. What do you want to know?
Everything.
Everything. This is a funny thing to go with because I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I've not been to India since 2007.
Funny enough, that's the last
around
time I was in Italy.
I've not been to India since 2007. And I've spent most of my life now in Canada.
What can you remember?
What can I put together?
Put it together now.
Put it together now.
Let's figure it out. Let's just start with the simple thing. What was it like living there when you were younger? Because I know you actually lived there for a while.
My thing's a little weird. Like, I'm born in India,
Right.
but I lived most of my life in Dubai, in the UAE, right? So,
Really?
Yeah. So I was born in India, but I like grew up. I was raised. I grew up in Dubai. That's where I like in the UAE, and it's not. It's different than moving. Like, yeah, I guess my whole life is just being an immigrant. So, but like it's
Did you
different.
like the Led Zeppelin song, The Immigrant Man?
Oh, that's a great song. That's what I'm gonna start this episode up with.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
Ah.
Maybe we should
I
just
re-
do an
I-
acapella version.
I'm
of
just
it.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
gonna go watch Thor Ragnarok.
I know.
We should all watch
They
it
played
together.
it twice. Why?
Huh?
They played that song twice.
Because at the end of the movie, they're
Why
all
not?
immigrants.
I know.
Do you?
Yeah. I
You just
know.
asked us why.
No,
Hold
but
on.
I was like, why would you play it twice? They
This
should've
is
played
my-
something else.
why
at
not?
the beginning.
That song's amazing.
I don't know, Joe. I don't know.
You
Why
seem
are you
so
asking
upset.
Are you mad that Manny's not here?
No.
Are you
not
mad
at
that
all.
Val had a bad week?
No.
Oh, yeah, well, get well soon.
Yeah.
Get well soon, Val.
Yeah.
Yeah, Val had a bad.
Tash has no research now because you were sick.
Yeah.
Way to go.
She's very upset with you.
Yeah. She's docking
So-
you your Christmas bonus for 2020.
In advance.
So, anyways,
No, so
back to being an
yeah,
immigrant.
so I've just had an immigrant life my whole life, pretty much. But Dubai is different in the sense that I was looking it up when we were talking about this. There are more Indians in the UAE. So when I say Dubai is
Right.
a city. There's 7 emirates in the UAE, 7 states.
Right.
One of them is Dubai. Dubai is the most popular. Abu
Mm-hmm.
Dhabi is the capital. Those are the two people would have heard about because they have
Yeah.
right now have all the money. But there are more people in Dubai than there are UAE nationals. Or sorry, more Indians in Dubai than there are UAE nationals.
Quick question, like with the UAE, is
Yeah.
it like almost like a grouping of city states, or
It's
is it like
exactly-
one country?
It's
and
exactly
then-
it's exactly what the United States are.
okay. So they're separate.
So you know the name is
Yeah.
like the United States of America, right?
Right. Yeah.
They are the United Arab Emirates. So they were like 7 separate states. Emirates is just basically an Arabic word for states.
Okay.
And they combined forces to become one country,
All right.
right? So
Dwen.
it's, yeah. Yes, Manny.
Dwen, how accurate is that Mission Impossible movie to the UAE?
Well, the building is there.
I knew he was gonna jump right into the movie.
No, so here's what's funny about that movie. I watched it in Dubai. I was
Ooh.
on vacation in Dubai, and we watched it there. And
lived it.
I saw it. Well, I have a weird connection to that building because I moved to Dubai. I went to Dubai for my brother's wedding when that building got
Was
opened, was unveiled.
was-
Unveiled.
like opened up, like
Yeah.
actual occupancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I came back. The next time I went back to Dubai, that Mission Impossible movie got released, and everyone was so excited. We watched it in the theaters. When that scene happened, everyone in the theater started clapping.
That's awesome.
It was so funny because it was just like, it's the
Hey,
build.
I
You're
was just
clapping
there.
for the
Hey.
building.
You guys are cheering for a building.
Yeah. But I mean, Canadians are kind of funny like that. When we see Canada in stuff, we're just like, haha, Canada.
like proper Canada
Yeah.
stuff, right?
So everyone cheered for that scene. Then there was that crazy sandstorm scene that everyone's like, that doesn't happen here. And then the next scene happened in India, and nobody said anything. And I'm like, you fuckers, you're all Indian. But they didn't actually.
For added, so for you know how we have D-Box here in Canada, for added effect, did they just start throwing sand in you guys' face over there?
What kind of stupid question is
They
that?
just opened up the doors.
Are you saying because D-Box over here they throw snow in your face?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad he wasn't there for my episode.
know.
I'm so glad.
But yeah,
Hey, actually, Dwen, I've been meaning to ask you, and now, is it an Indian culture to clap when the plane lands?
no, that is every culture, man.
Dude, that's everybody.
That's when everybody
Yeah.
just thinks thinks it's great to
I
clap
don't
for
know,
a guy
man.
who does his
Every
job.
time I've been on a white people flight, like the people don't clap. But like every time I'm on any other airline, it's just
You know
the
why they
plane
don't
lands, people
clap? Because they had to endure a flight with you.
I know.
No, okay. If I were to travel,
That's
to, like, let's say, you know,
offensive.
like Mexico,
White people
the Dominican, or
flight?
anything like that, people when we land, it's like people are like, whatever, let's go.
What are you
But like
talking
whenever
about?
I land anywhere else, it's like a big party. It's like
No, dude. When
It's
Dwen
a
and I
big
went when Dwen and I went to Mexico, they clapped. I think it's just you.
Also, why is your big party just one person going?
it's a one-man party band.
That's gross. Maybe you should start the clap. You ever think of that?
Yeah.
No,
I'm not
don't.
gonna start a clap. I'm not a weirdo.
Oh my
So many
God.
lies in that
I know,
statement.
yeah, I know.
So many. So, anyways, back to like cheering for
Mission
the building.
I will say
Back
this.
to Mission Impossible.
I will say this about flying. So growing up, I lived in Dubai, but I would go back to India every summer. My parents would take me
Right.
back every summer. So I was very close to all my family in India and all that stuff. Never once in all that time where we'd fly back and forth, and even a few vacations to other parts of Asia, never once did that clapping thing happen. That clapping thing happened when I came here. And
Really?
I started experience, and I don't know. It may happen now. It may just be one of those
Okay.
weird things that like people are eventually like, yeah, we didn't die. Cool. You know?
It's like
You know what? Growing up, like going over to Italy, I
Yeah.
don't remember the clapping happening.
Yeah, the clapping's
but again,
new.
that could just be a thing. Like I don't remember it happening.
Yeah.
Right. But
But it feels like if you were a kid, you'd remember that. Like
yeah,
that
fair
would be
enough.
the thing you'd be
Right.
into.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, I find the clapping weird, but I feel like it's new. Everywhere.
Maybe. Well, with all the stuff going on in the news, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing with Dubai. Is they've got more Indian people than they do actual.
Really, I did not know
Yeah,
that.
because the UAE has a certain amount of people, but they didn't kind of like Canada. Canada doesn't have enough people of who are from here proper, to make this a thriving country.
Yeah.
Right? You need immigration to make it what it is.
That's what's made this country what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you hear that, Trump? Anyway.
He's not the leader of this country.
But maybe Dwen should be.
No.
I don't think Dwen wants the job.
No.
I mean,
What would you rename the country, Dwen?
Huh?
Why?
What would you rename the country?
Why is Dwen renaming the country?
Wait, this country?
Any country.
if I got this-
the country. The country you're the leader of. I'm not gonna lie. I'm picking up about 60 to 70% of what you guys are saying. So this is a very interesting conversation.
It's pretty
for
much
me.
about the same as you catch on most of our episodes.
Exactly. I was like, what's the difference from every other episode?
You've caught more
Yeah.
than if you were right in front of me.
Yeah.
Exactly. Are you staring at your phone?
Yes.
Are you looking in the air? Yes. Are you probably eating something? Yes.
No, we haven't heard the chewing yet.
Yeah,
So
we'll hear the burping soon enough, though.
And the shaving.
of its
But-
All right,
pubis.
so, okay, all right, Dwen. What would you rename your fictional country then?
Why are we
Why?
saying?
I would take it over, and then you want to take over something that's established.
Yeah, you don't want to rename shit.
Then you're like, okay, I took over Canada. I took over the United States. If you take over something and you rename it, everyone's like, where's that?
Exactly. That's stupid.
You make something named after you, or you take over. No, it's not like fucking Tim Cook takes over Apple and then goes, I'm going to name this Cookland now.
Yeah.
Even though-
Cookie.
Cookie.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna name it Cookie.
That's actually a good name.
That is
All right,
good.
okay. So moving on. Okay,
I'm not gonna lie.
So let's move on from Dwen Vario second. Okay,
What?
so let's go.
I don't even know.
So-
I think he's just trying to be funny.
Well, all right.
So glad he wasn't on lives.
So anyway, so taking
Yeah.
over, so the UAE with the amount of people that they have there needs immigration. They need immigration to build like everything that's going on. So they move. So a lot of people would immigrate from at the time third world countries, right? So India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Philippines, all that. There's a huge group of that community that has moved to Dubai. So like when I go to other countries, if I go to the States or whatever, like
Right.
me and especially when I go to the States, like me and Anna kind of stick out because we're a brown guy and a Filipino girl.
Yeah, it's noticeable.
It's noticeable. I mean, it's not noticeable here, but it's noticeable there.
Right.
But when I go to Dubai, it's not noticeable. There's just so many
You just
Filipinos
you're
and
the-
Indians there.
It's like me walking down the street here.
Yeah, it's not special.
It's not.
So
No.
So it was different, but that's part of the whole deal, right? You got so many. India's just got like so many people that sometimes the opportunities aren't there for everybody,
Right.
right? This idea of like this general stereotype is like, oh yeah, everyone's a doctor, everyone's a this, but everyone can't be a doctor.
No, that's not how it
Everyone
works.
can't be an engineer. So these opportunities are a little bit harder. And Manny's at the beach again.
I think Manny's taking a shower.
So
Manny, I'm gonna have to turn you down. Just send a message to us
when you're back up.
when you're back up.
So opportunities are a bit harder. So for people to make what a lot of people will do is the sort of patriarch of the family. So in some cases it would be like my dad would leave first, move to Dubai or to move to any of the countries in sort of the Middle East that are looking for people, and then get a job, and then hopefully the money would be good enough that they could send it back home to India.
Okay.
Right. So for me it was kind of different because my dad got a job first. My mom went a few years later. And the way it works in Dubai is your company sponsors you to come.
I think your brother told me about
Yeah.
something like this.
So the idea being that say you worked for the sake of argument, you work for like for example is Juventus FC, right? So
Right, yeah.
Juventus hired you.
Yeah.
They would hire you. They would give you a visa to come to Dubai to live there.
Right.
Once you make a certain amount of salary, you can sponsor somebody else to come. So you could sponsor your wife to come live with you.
That's actually quite good because then it proves that you're contributing to the economy.
Yes and no. So yes, there's that. But if you lose your job, you have to leave.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that sucks.
You can't get like a second job and do all this kind of hustle. That may have changed since I
Yeah.
left, but that's sort of the
But
deal.
that was the deal then, right? Where you were there on the work visa for this specific
Yeah.
company. If you're not there anymore,
But like,
see you later.
but like, dude, it was crazy because you'd have like the dad. So in my case, my dad and my mom both was sponsored by their companies, and then they
Yeah.
had enough money to enough money between them or whatever to sponsor us as kids, right? But I would like, you would go to school and you'd have friends or whatever, and then all of a sudden one of the friends would just be like gone.
Gotta go,
'Cause
bro.
their folks like lost their job.
Yeah.
And you get a month, I think, to find a new gig,
Right.
but that's it. Like, you don't have that. You don't
don't
have
have that
somebody to
cushion.
sponsor you.
Do they
Yeah.
like
You're
come to
going
your house and like come get you?
No,
Like-
no, it's not
No,
like
it's
that.
not like
You
that.
just
It's
don't
just-
have a visa, right?
Just your visa
Oh.
expires.
Your visa expires,
and then
so
you
have
become
to
an
bounce.
illegal.
So is there a lot of people that are illegally
No,
living
because
there?
you have to bounce. You
You
don't
have to.
The,
Okay.
okay, because you don't have a job. The job means you don't have money. The money
Is the
means
UAE going to put up a wall against the illegals?
But they're not having
They're not
illegals
there.
issues. There's
they're
not there.
They don't have them. You would need money to pay for your rent or whatever to do all that other stuff. So
Yeah.
you don't have a job. Where are you gonna get the money to do all that stuff?
Wow.
Right? Any place you work, has to give you a visa. So
Yeah, if you're not
Okay.
like born in the country, right?
yeah, exactly. And so the ones who are born in the country have money. So you're
They got money.
Yeah. The flip side, so that was the thing. So but because there's so many Indian people in the UAE, the Indian culture lives there. It's just a little bit different than the Indian culture back home, right? Because everybody, like, people speak Hindi, people watch Bollywood movies, people have the posters, all the sports
So-
are there.
How is it different specifically? Like, does it
It's
have
different.
that?
Well, it's different in the sense that, like, I lived in a place that was like Canada. I had we had an apartment. We lived in our apartment. We had a car. We had places we could go to. We had, generally we were middle class family, but we had money, right? My cousins live in India. When my cousins live in India, this is obviously when they've all been grown up and married now.
Yeah.
But they lived in an apartment, and I'm using apartment kind of thing. But
Loosely?
So they lived in a building in Bombay called Charles.
Hold on, Bombay or Mumbai?
I say Bombay because I was born in Bombay. But if you have to
Bombay
go legally,
bad boy.
but if you want to go legally, I guess you have to say Mumbai.
Wait, what's this about being a bad boy? I'm a bad boy.
Why? Why did you bring it up? Like, this guy, you're feeding
He's
him
only
stuff.
catching 60% of the things that we're saying.
What else is new?
But the funny thing is, nothing's wrong with the connection.
Yeah.
No, so my cousins lived in this place called it's like a chawl, right? That's the Indian word for it. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong.
Probably.
But they're basically like, they're buildings, and in the building you get one unit to live in. But the one unit is a room with like a little kitchen and a little like
it's like a little kitchenette. And
So it's like an
Like a-
open apartment.
no, like
Like a
okay,
small
like
three-piece?
no, like think about this room that we're in right now. That also has a little, very tiny kitchen and a very tiny like place to have a bath.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then on the
Dwen.
end, hold on, and then at the end of the building, at the end of the floor is where all the washrooms are. So they have like kind of shared washrooms kind of thing.
Oh,
And then
it's like communal
so
washroom.
it's like a dorm.
kind of, but
Yeah.
also you get water twice a day, 4 p.m., 10 p.m.
What?
So everyone has like these big drums in their house, and they basically like fill up those drums, and that's how they have their like drinking water and all that stuff. And then
Dwen,
yeah,
it sounds like you're describing an apartment from the opening scene of Slumdog Millionaire. Like, remember
no,
when they
it's
first moved
not.
into
It's
the
not
city?
that. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But like they were nice enough buildings, and what was cool about that place, because when I was growing up, I always wanted to go there, because my cousins lived there, and because you have that area, but that's the area where you sleep, right? Where you actually like do all your stuff is in the like hallways with everybody. So you build this like real sense of community. Everyone's just walking into everybody else's place and whatever. One person like, again, this is back in the 90s. So one person has a TV. Everyone goes there and watches like the cricket game or whatever. Friday nights, everyone puts up like a big, there'll be like somebody will put up like a white sheet or something.
then they'll project something on the
project a movie or whatever.
Okay.
and that's kind of all the different buildings do that, but there was more of a sense of community there. Like we knew everybody on that
Right.
floor.
Yeah.
But like I think about it now, and I'm like, holy shit! Like my cousins were 4 kids, their mom, dad, and their grandmother
In that one
in
little
that
room.
one little room, and then
That's
eventually
insane.
like they made enough money and they bought the next room too.
Right.
But yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, and I like never thought about it till I got older, and I was like, oh my god! And then me and my brother used to go there all the time, like chill out.
Spend all day there.
yeah,
Sleep
yeah.
over. They're like,
Yeah, so that's one part of India, and then there's another part that like when my parents have a place, we had running water all through the day, and we have our apartment, all that stuff. That's in one city, like that's in Bombay.
Yeah.
That's just and you get a good sense of like how good you have it when you go back, because you're driving and you're just seeing people like huts and houses and people just living on the streets, and
Yeah.
it's a weird, like it's weird to see it, and then you're like, but this is normal. It's like a weird kind of normal, right? It's changed a lot now. My mom and dad go back every year.
Right, yeah.
And
You told me
I
they'd
keep
done that.
And I keep in touch with my cousin's kids, which is weird. Because they're like, it's so weird. My cousin's kids now are all. When I last saw them, they were like 6, and now they're like 20.
They're like adults now?
Yeah, they're adults. So they post stuff, and they're like, there's some things that cross over so well.
Right.
And then there's some things that you're just like, wow, like my cousin's kids is a big soccer player, plays all the time.
Right, yeah.
And I bought him a pair of shoes, Adidas shoes for Christmas, and I sent it with my mom, and he was so happy.
Really,
He
eh?
was so happy. He was like, dude, these are sick, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh man, they were like $20.
Yeah.
They weren't expensive, but
Yeah.
it meant a lot that I got
Yeah.
him these shoes. And I've not met him as an adult.
Right.
You know.
You only know him as like a little kid.
I know him as a little kid in the pictures I see
Yeah.
online. So it's wild, like that kind of stuff. The gratitude and all that is really cool to see. But then on the others, then every once in a while, like now I started watching like a few Indian programs and stuff. Indian television is fucking bonkers. It is
In
bonkers.
what way?
Their reality shows are just like over the top. It's just like they have a show where they just have people who live on a set, not like a house, a set. It's an MTV show.
Kind of like Big Brother, but
Kind
just
of, but
it's
it's a
like a
set.
TV show.
Yeah.
It's a, like proper set.
But the key with the show is like every time you lose or every day that goes by, it's like 2 people. So it's like me and Tash in one room, you and Manny in another room, and then other Dave and Brock in another room or whatever.
Right.
And then every day that passes by that you like do well in your games or whatever, the rooms just get smaller.
What? That's scary.
So it's called spaces. So it's like the rooms just get tinier and tinier.
That's insane.
And then the only way people talk to each other is they're like, "Hey, what's your room like?" 'Cause it's a set. There's no wall. There's no,
it's like a prison
no
cell.
roof.
yeah.
Oh
it's
my
an MTV
God.
show, so it's wild.
I sorry to go back, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it seems like with Italian shows, their TV shows are all just freaking variety. Like
Oh my god, I don't know
Like-
what the fuck is in the water in Italy, but like they find the most gorgeous, busty women to be on.
did you ever see the soccer one?
Yes,
Oh my goodness, she's
I'm pretty sure
a very pretty
I'm
lady.
pretty sure I learned everything about Italian soccer just by watching those shows, not knowing what the fuck was going on.
You're learning Italian too.
Yeah.
Another thing. So, you are going.
Yes,
So
I'm going places.
yeah, you're going places now. Geographically, in terms of India, where exactly would you say that
This is a good question because I always can't explain it.
Awesome.
It's a half-hour flight from Bombay, and Bombay's
Okay.
sort of in the middle-ish. I'm sure I've got that wrong. My geography is terrible. But it's not too far. Like Bombay's like the big metropolitan. So
So your parents are
my parents are from Goa.
Born in Goa.
Yeah. My mom was born in
Yeah.
Goa. My dad was born in
Dwen,
Bombay.
but being from Goa, don't you have Portuguese ancestry as well then?
I was going to get to that. So
Yeah.
No, so my
to bury the lead, Manny. But good question too.
my family's from this place called Goa, and India as a country was under British rule for like 200 years, right?
Yeah.
So very much the whole white people's whole exploration of cultures. Hey, they've got cotton and tea. We're just gonna
Yeah.
stay here.
That's your people, Joe.
No, it isn't.
You know what? But the thing
White
is,
people did that thousands of years before them. Okay.
It's your people. Anyway.
So, but the funny thing about India is like everyone talks about the British, and everyone's like the British, but it was the British, it was the Dutch, like this.
Oh, the Dutch.
The Dutch,
They're evil.
the Dutch, the Portuguese. I'm assuming there was some French because those bastards walked around everywhere too, but I don't see the influence as much in India.
Right.
But Goa is basically this beach, this wonderful beach city, very small,
Right.
and was a Portuguese stronghold for a long time. So India got independence in 1945. Goa got independence from the Portuguese in 1961.
So there you go.
So
Yeah.
the thing being that, but they kind of did the whole British Hong Kong thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
sort
So
of
it's
gave
like
it back to
it's
India.
like, hey, yeah, you guys can have it back.
Yeah. And so anybody born in Goa, like actually born in Goa before 1961, can claim for Portuguese citizenship.
So can your mom claim to be Portuguese?
She can. And well, I mean, all our family names are all Portuguese.
Yeah.
My last name
Well,
is Portuguese. So
Yeah.
it's there. There's another city in India called Mangalore, which is a very small place from what I've been told, because everybody I've ever met from Mangalore has never been there. But there's a ton of them.
So they all left.
I don't know. I mean, sure, people have gone back. Frida Pinto, the girl who was in Slumdog Millionaire, she's from Mangalore. And they're they got a massive Portuguese population as well.
Really?
Or Portuguese ancestry, I guess.
That's insane, man.
Yeah.
Like,
It's funny. And then those things led to like the languages. So Goan and Mangalore people speak a language called Konkani. And Konkani is like a sort of bastardization of Portuguese and Sanskrit.
really?
So some sort of like melding together.
Yeah,
of
like
it.
Do you
merging.
know some words? in
I
Konkani?
understand it very
But
well.
you're not great at speaking
my mom
it?
and dad speak it all the time, so I always caught it. I can
Right,
understand
yeah.
it. But depending on dialect, I lose. Like some people, if they speak too fast or whatever, my mom and dad, I understand 100%. My mom and dad think I don't know it, even now.
That's amazing.
And I'm just like,
I don't have that option with my
I
parents.
hope Dwen goes away.
I've heard that a lot.
He still hears that. And he doesn't even live with them
I know.
anymore.
That's their answering machine. So,
Dwen's not here. Yay! All in Konkani.
this seems mean. And then it's a big hub for like pork stuff. That anything pork is big. Like it depends on what part. See, that's the thing with India is that all the parts of it are so different from each other.
Right.
Like
But that's weird that you say pork because
it's
a religious thing. In some religions, they
So
don't eat pork.
yeah, like the Hindus and the Muslims don't eat pork.
Yeah.
And then we're all about it.
I love pork.
I believe that
That's a soundbite.
Yeah.
I love pork. Jewish people don't eat pork either.
Yeah, Jewish people don't eat pork.
That's not
either.
a sound bite. That's a sound burger.
You're doing so well.
I know.
Always one step too far.
I know.
Yeah. So
Too
like,
many moves, man.
if you go to the Domino's in Goa, actually has like a pork topping for their
like just
pizzas.
just like shredded pork. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah. So all our feasts, I mean, anything all the churches in Goa look like big, like a made. They go back to
Almost like a
so
Portuguese
they're all
like
massive,
cathedral
big,
type of
gorgeous.
deal.
Yeah, they're all built very similar, and all the feasts are celebrated the same way. And if there's a feast, there's a pig dying. So those you see them everywhere. Weddings.
Oh, did I miss out on pork when I went with you to Goa Fest that one time?
100%.
Damn it! I should have stuck
100%.
around.
Goa Fest.
Oh yeah.
I want to
I also snuck into Goa Fest.
We're okay with white people, Tash.
go. Oh, okay. We can't push it.
Oh no! Why?
Dwen brings the whole.
Oh, I was going
brigade.
to pick up tickets from you or something.
It was my mom's birthday. We went to this. So I'm gonna play the song at the end of this episode. But there's a singer named Lorna, who's a big time Konkani singer, and just through
Your mom and dad love her.
everybody loves her, man. Everybody loves her. She's great. So she shows up. She comes to Canada and she does like a concert here, and she did it at that place that you came to.
Yeah.
And it was
which is like this huge, like these grounds.
Huge Croatian park.
Yeah, it's like the Croatian community in Mississauga have like this almost like a
I know that place. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's basically a giant park with a community center and a pool, but they rent it out.
Yeah,
And,
it's massive.
Let me tell you, if Indian people find out that there is a big area that they can rent out for a few weeks, they will take it.
yeah.
How long was Goa Fest?
Dude, Goa Fest started at 10 a.m. and when we left, it was 8 p.m. and it was still going.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
going.
And there was a thing the week before.
They're
and there was-
beyond bylaws.
No, but there was a thing. There was a thing a week before it and a thing a week after it. We if that Croatian place gets any fancier, it's all money from Indians.
Yeah.
But
Sorry, an Indian event was in that Croatian place too? The week before?
yeah,
and the week after.
Yeah. Dude, we used to
Really? And last year they were running things with the World Cup too.
I'll bring this back here. So
Sorry.
when we first came to Canada, we found out that there were these basically like community things. So they would have
Right,
these,
yeah.
they'd be called the Dubai picnic, and all these people who used to live in Dubai come and do bring food. It's like a potluck thing. You go to
Yeah, I feel like
Picnic.
most cultures have something
Exactly.
like that, right?
and then we'd find out afterwards that there's like a Goa thing, and then we'd go to that, and then we'd find out there's like a Bahrain thing. Bahrain's a neighboring country to
Right,
to
yeah,
the
yeah.
UAE, and somebody would invite us to that. And then I'd start going to all these things, and I'm like, these are the same fucking people at all these things. I realized that it was basically like, it would start off as that, but then people would invite their friends.
Right.
Go, hey, we had a good time at this. There's a similar thing next week. And
Let's
then it
go to
started
this.
again.
Let's go to
And
that. Yeah.
it would almost always be in the same place. It would always be in like a big park. And
Yeah,
Here
yeah.
in Mississauga, we have a place called Centennial Park, and it would always be there. And I guess sometime in the last year, Centennial Park like raised their fees or made some restrictions or
Yeah,
whatever.
this Croatian like park thing
And then
is
somebody
considerably less expensive.
and then somebody found the Croatian Park, and now Croatian Park is the spot.
Oh
So,
man.
but going back to that whole thing, it's like in Goa you get all the pork and everything,
Right.
but then like you switch over to maybe Punjab, and Punjab's got like very hearty meals, like it's vegetarian.
There's a lot more potatoes and stuff
Potatoes,
like that.
because if you ever met a Punjabi guy in your life, chances are he's a big boy. They're like, and I don't mean like a fat guy, I mean like a sturdy brick shit house, you know.
My former neighbor.
There you go.
He's a young guy. He's skinny, but he's
he's
strong.
He's like if Dev Patel became like an X-Man.
yeah.
He became Colossus.
Yeah.
He's strong, and his oldest brother is built like a shit brick house. Like he's a big guy.
It's because
Yeah.
they come from like a warrior. Their sort of religion is like a warrior religion, so they come as like strong, they come
Right.
as strong people. That's their whole deal. So, and they're proud of it. They don't throw it in your face. But they're sort of I always say they're sort of the equivalent of Samoans.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. I get
You
that.
see-
Like,
you see any Samoan, they're like
Yeah.
proud of their culture. They don't throw it in
well,
your face, but
he
they're fucking.
even are we losing Manny? Sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to make an announcement. I was very
Yeah.
interested in this. Seriously,
Sorry.
I'm so fascinated with Indian culture. I am. I'm not even joking about
I
it.
know. I just laugh at you. I always laugh when you're being sincere.
I know, yeah. Manny says that he has to leave. Apparently, there's elections, and so they're taking up the Wi-Fi to do these elections in Manila or Philippines.
Okay.
I don't know where he is, to be honest. with you.
All I'm thinking about is Poochie from that one episode of The Simpsons. I have to go to my home planet now.
All
So
right,
he went
man.
to his home planet.
Well, we'll get back to
Yeah,
you, buddy.
Good luck with the elections.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
The
you can
Wi-Fi.
try to call us back, that's fine too.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Or you can just call us on a phone.
Yes, like a regular person.
Anyways.
Buy a calling card for God's sakes.
Like, shit, dude, we do this every week.
Anyway, yeah. So
Fuck, we're such dicks.
and then, yeah, if you go to like places, I mean, if you go to like I was gonna say another country, another city, and I can't remember what it is. But if you like, even if you go to Bombay is like very metropolis, right? It's like this.
Right.
The crazy thing about Bombay is there are 30 million people who live in the city of Bombay. There are 30 million people living in Canada.
Yeah, our entire population is in the
That's
city
why,
of
like
Bombay
because
or Mumbai.
yeah.
Sorry.
I've I've seen like shows and movies or like documentaries
Yeah.
where it shows you like driving. Oh no, there was that I don't know if it was a show, and the guy was driving and he goes and he drives to like, I think it was the same guy that does the Canada's
Were you
Worst
just
Driver.
watching GTA? Like, what the hell are you talking about?
But he's
It's-
driving in India.
I know what show you're talking about. It's like the worst places to drive in
Yeah,
the world.
exactly.
Oh, the
Or something like
Discovery shows.
Yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
those Discovery Channel
Yeah,
shows.
I couldn't come up with it.
Discovery Canada has a bunch of shows like that
Yeah.
where people are horrendous drivers. Or this one guy who, ostracizes these horrendous Canadian drivers, goes to other countries and drives there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all about his reaction on screen while he's
Yeah.
driving.
Okay, let
Yeah.
me tell you a story about this. I know, Tash, I'm interrupting you here, but the last time I went to India was the first time after I had learned how to drive.
Oh
right?
my.
So in Canada, they're all like defensive driving. Always have, always make sure the other cars are like, let them in because we're fucking Canadian. They're just so like it's the right way to do things.
Yeah.
I go to India. I go to get something from across the street from my building. I'm walking back to my building. There is a bus coming towards me. He's a fair distance away, so I'm crossing the street. And he starts honking. And my stupid Canadian mind at this point is like, oh, he's just going to stop. I'm going to continue walking. And he's honking because he's going faster. He's not gonna get lost on his route, and none of the people in that thing are gonna get lost on their route. They're gonna fucking kill me before they. He kept honking, man. He was just like, "You move before I go." And the more then it just became more of a thing. Like I was like, because in Bombay we have rickshaws, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're sitting in the rickshaw and you're in traffic, and you look, and at the time they were building highways everywhere to
Right.
alleviate traffic. But the problem is when you're building highways, you cause more traffic.
Yes.
So we were like, you'd be in a rickshaw and the guy would see half a fucking rickshaw's worth of space in front of him and he'd squeeze into it. And I was just like, nobody's making any time here. But you have to make the space. You have to. They're just squeezing into it. And it was wild. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
When we were in Goa, so whenever we go to Goa is small enough that it doesn't really have its own transit.
Right.
So you
yeah.
rent a car or whatever. So we would always rent a driver and a car. And it's
Ooh,
basically,
a driver.
we basically get like a little minivan and
Yeah, yeah.
he'll drive you around. And he knows how to get to places.
Right. Yeah.
So there are streets in Goa that are not,
Streets.
well, they're not two-way streets or one-way streets, but you can use it to go either way. So you basically go, and while you're going, you just honk the whole way so that if somebody's coming the other way, they know to stop.
There are
Yeah.
some small streets like that in cities in
Yeah.
Italy. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
even throughout everywhere in Europe, right?
And
There's
you're just
these
like,
little,
well, this is it. And the best...
this is where I die.
Yeah.
Brr, 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 brr.
We got into a car accident when we were there.
Oh, fun.
Car hit us. Both the drivers came. They talked to each other. They drove off. I was like, I wish this was how it was in Canada.
Yeah, you okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you go.
Bye.
Yeah.
See you later.
You know what? I can't really talk to most of the other parts of India because I've not really been there. But one of the things one of the things that's amazing about India is sort of sports and the way that it takes over India.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, sports is amazing.
sports is amazing in general, but like it's cool. But the thing about what I love about it in India particularly is that like cricket takes over everything when the Indian team plays. It takes over everything. And it's wonderful. It doesn't matter. You know that thing over here of like they're like, it's a Super Bowl. The guys are gonna watch it while the women are gonna like chill.
No.
That kind of shit.
They're making the chili. Yeah.
One.
Everyone gets into it, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And if they're winning, it's fantastic. If it's losing, it's
Yeah.
I went to Dubai in 2003, and India was playing Pakistan in a series of games, and they were playing it for the first time. So then, like, they had never played India and Pakistan had not played in India for years because of the whole political thing that had been going on that goes on between the two countries. If you don't know, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh used to be one country, India.
Okay.
The British came over, and in August 14th, 1945, Pakistan got its independence, and essentially it's all the Muslims would move there.
From India,
Yeah.
moved there.
Pakistan as a word means stan means place. Paki means strong. So
Right.
it's a strong place. So they had got their separation on the
So in
14th.
other words, when someone's trying to be derogatory, they're calling someone strong.
Yes.
Fucking idiots.
So Pakistan got their independence on the 14th. On the 15th, India got their independence. And then years later, I think the Bangladesh part was part of Pakistan, and India helped in them getting their separation just to make Pakistan less strong or whatever.
Right.
What's crazy about that story, about that whole separation thing is, there are people whose families would be living in Karachi. So think about it in terms of you and your brother.
Right.
Your brother goes for work and is living in Karachi. You're living in Bombay. There's a separation. All of a sudden, he's in a different country,
Yeah.
and he's Pakistani now, and you're Indian.
That's crazy.
fucked
Right?
up.
There's
Yeah.
lots of families like that. There's some so since Indians and Pakistanis meet each other all the time. It's
Yeah.
the same fucking thing. They speak. I mean, it's so ridiculous. We're so alike. Our languages are the Urdu and Hindi. If you speak them, are understandable to each other.
They're similar. They're
They're the same.
They're the
colloquially
same.
the same language when you speak it.
Colloquially.
Yes. When you write it, Hindi is written like Sanskrit and Urdu is written like Arabic.
Oh, okay.
But when you speak it, it's the same language.
That's fucked up.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's strange.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned, but like for example, my Punjab friend is very Punjab. Sorry,
It's Punjab.
Punjab. Anyways, he's very like he does not like Pakistani people. Like he is really just angry around them.
People have. I mean, yeah, and I
And,
can see. And the thing
there's
is,
a lot of political unrest
and part of that,
history
I'm sure,
it,
is
right?
also because this is a complete guess here, but I'm sure that he's got family in the military.
I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, he is like the Sikh religion. Isn't that a whole thing of
That's
like?
what I'm saying. Right?
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah.
So there's that hatred, like country wise, and there's hatred between people, between some people. But like, I know tons of Pakistanis here. Like we are friends. You and me are friends with some Pakistanis.
Yeah. No,
Right?
I know.
And we're
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
You know, it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, much like what we're trying to do with this podcast, is like all these countries they're fucking different, but they're the same, right?
Oh yeah.
So that whole thing happened. So now when India and Pakistan play each other, it's more than just fucking.
It's
cricket.
It's more than just.
Right?
Yeah. There's more behind it. Yeah.
A very vivid memory in my mind was when I was in grade 4, Pakistan won the World Cup. Sad day for us all. But I was in class, like in Dubai, was our class. We had Indians and Pakistanis in the class, right? And I came to the class, and these kids were fucking rioting that they won the World Cup. I was so scared. Like they were throwing chairs in the air. We're grade 4. We had a kid in our class who had like not a fully formed arm.
Yeah.
And he was throwing chairs.
Oh my god.
With the not so fully formed arm, wasn't
Dude,
he?
that guy-
Lifting it up in the air, and
That
just
guy
launching
could
it.
go, man. That guy could go. You know that thing about people think they can just bully people who are like have a disability? Oh God, no.
Don't try it.
He had like
Don't fucking
3
try
arms in the one arm. Fuck, he could go.
Another sport, and I know this from my former neighbor there, kabaddi.
Kabaddi.
What's kabaddi?
Fuck. This thing is intense. I looked up some
yes.
YouTube videos. These guys.
They had a World Cup here in Mississauga.
I know.
a few years ago.
Our friend wanted to go to it. Like,
Yeah.
I think he even went. I think he even
James-
tried out for the team.
Wait,
James-
what is kabaddi?
Yeah, so James, hold on. So James
This is a need to know basis.
James Rosile from the Rebel Scum podcast, whose room we sort of co-opt for this podcast.
We do. We rent it.
He had to like be a producer on it.
Yes, I know.
And he did have all this research, and he kept asking me questions, and I'm like, "You're barking up the wrong tree."
Wrong Indian dude.
Yeah. It's kind of like a part of it is like amateur wrestling.
It's like wrestling. It's like friggin' Red Rover. And
Wait,
then
did you just say Red Rover?
Yes, I did say Red Rover.
Red Rover. Red
Yeah,
Rover.
it's like that.
Without the singing and a lot more pain.
What?
And they
should
beat the shit out of each other. Like
See
they
these
just.
guys. I would love to explain this game, but I can't.
I want to know how you win. or lose for that matter.
If you can't stand up.
Like
You lose.
there's no ball,
Yeah.
so I don't understand the object. I think
It's sort of just the scrum in rugby. Like
I think it's almost like a feat of strength. So it's like there's like almost like there's a center line, and you have to move the opposing team further back.
Oh, so it's almost like football in a
But there's
sense.
no ball.
But like
But
rugby,
there's
you
no
know how
ball.
rugby they do the scrum?
Yeah, they
it's
do
like
the
that.
It's
and
kind
then
of
you
like
just
that,
push it
yeah.
and-
Like I've seen some
And it's just
video
fighting.
yeah.
of it. It's brutal.
Because it's usually like you have to be fucking strong,
That's why
right? You have to be strong.
they're
crazy.
big boys that play that sport.
We'll post something on social
I'll try
media
and find
about
some
that.
good stuff on it. But the other big sport the wild thing about India is the other big sport is soccer, and that's my ring.
We're sorry, Anna.
She knows. But when I went to Goa, so soccer is massive. So the main soccer's funny because it's popular in the
There you go.
outsides of the city.
Yeah.
So outsides of the country. So like Bombay, it's big. It's big in Goa. It's big in Calcutta.
Mm-hmm.
But then sort of the inner parts of it's like cricket, obviously.
Cricket's the
cricket,
bigger deal.
hockey, field
hockey,
field
yeah.
hockey, you call it here. But yeah, with soccer, it's huge. I went to a village in Goa, and they had these massive, massive banners like all over, and it was called the Stevenage Cup, and it had pictures of like Steven Gerrard and Wayne Rooney and all
Holy
this stuff.
shit.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then me and my brother like, what is going on? And then my brother was like, they're having their own little tournament here in this village, but they're promoting it like it's a cup,
Oh,
Like it's a
okay.
proper cup.
like it's a proper cup. And it's
Nice.
crazy, man. Like it's just like the love for it is insane.
Would you say that, and I've noticed this, a
Yeah.
lot of Indian friends I do have
Yeah,
support
England.
English teams
Yeah.
and England.
Yeah,
Would you say that's a part of goes back to even British rule, maybe?
you know what? It does and it doesn't. Like
Yeah.
the thing is, the English Premier League, what they do, their games are really early. Like for us here in Canada, their games start at like 7:30 in the morning. They
Right,
end
yeah.
at like 2:30 p.m.
I will say this: the English Premier League is also the most popular. Like it's the most aired on television in the world. It's most
but-
accessible.
No. But part of that whole thing is, like back in the day when it was just like, when the English Premier League as a brand started in 1992, and part of the whole thing with that was like to really bring it outside of England, right? Back when it was just in England, the games used to be at like 8 o'clock or 3 p.m. British time, blah blah blah. Now they start games at midnight. So at noon in British time.
Right. Yeah.
So noon British time is like 7:30 a.m. here in Canada.
yeah, and it's like
But in India, it's prime time.
it's like 6 or 7.
It's 8. It's
Oh, even more
it's
so.
8 to 11.
Oh, that's where they get a lot of
so they're in
ratings too.
perfect prime time that these games are going on.
Yeah.
It's like watching a game that's happening in your city. Right?
Yeah.
So you can pick a team, you can support them, and then, they do a wonderful job of branding it. And then like from there, you know all the players, you know all these things. So then all of a sudden England becomes an easy team to support. Like that's the thing. People give me shit for England all the time for supporting England, but because of the whole like, oh yeah, colonialist. Like somebody once called me that. They were like,
Called you a fucking colonialist?
yeah.
What?
Yeah. This from a motherfucking Spanish guy who supports Real Madrid.
Okay.
But
Well,
no. But I was just like, no, I watch the Premier League. I support an English team
yeah.
that I know all the, like, that's, you would level, like, I'm not one of these guys who watches Manchester United every week and then goes and supports fucking Brazil, right? Like, there's a disconnect there for me.
Right.
And I think
yeah.
that's how that happens, is that so many people are inundated with the Premier League that it would only make sense that you wouldn't be like, oh, I know these players.
Yeah.
They play for England now,
Yeah.
right? Like that's kind of how it works for Italy if you're Italian,
Yeah.
right? It's just we're not English, so that happened. That
Anymore. Anymore.
anymore. Yeah, we.
I wanted to, because I'm so fascinated with this. Like, I haven't said anything much because I'm so fascinated by this stuff.
You've also been dealing with trying to
Yeah,
stay
I've been
connected
dealing with Manny, so yeah.
Yeah. So.
So in 2002, one movie that like really changed my
Oh no, I know what you're going to
thoughts.
say.
My thoughts on
Touch of Pink.
No.
Oh, I hate that movie.
My thoughts on the Indian
I knew you
culture was Bend It Like Beckham.
Yeah.
So sticking to that football related, I think for me it was a movie that it was more about defying social expectations. So on your family level, on like even the what's his name? Jonathan Rice Mayer Wright, whatever his name is. He's Irish.
Right.
And
Damn it.
and so he was like,
It's one of yours, Joe.
and back in that like those
do.
times, like he's like Joe. I just caught that, but he's just like Joe. But like English players didn't want Irish players on their teams. Like there's a lot of layers in that movie. And I just wanted to kind of discuss it because it really changed my mind about the family structure of, this is a very smart conversation. It changed my mind about
So Val really is
Yeah,
moving a real impact on Val's
Val,
life.
this is some good research.
Val.
Imagine if you weren't feeling ill.
It was, okay. So I think the big premise for me was the way Jess, who is the main character in the movie,
Right.
was with her parents.
Right.
And so when, you have strict parents like that, and I mean, it's something as simple as I want to go and play a sport that I like having fun with, and then your parents saying, no, you can't do that sport. Like, does that really happen?
There's definitely like some of that because, like I said, man, like a lot of the people, like especially people who have a chance to live in England or UAE or whatever,
Right.
they've left some version of poverty, right?
Yeah.
So they're there because they didn't have the opportunity in their home country. People leave because they want to, like people leave Italy to come to Canada because of opportunity.
Opportunity.
Because
Oh
it's
yeah.
right.
100%.
So when you come and you have opportunity, you sometimes you want to make sure that you take the safest route to
Protective.
you get protective of it,
Yeah.
right? So you want to make sure that like, I remember when my parents were always big on education. They were big on education. Like you have to pass, you have to go to college, you have to do this, and it was fine because I was with them on that, and same with my brother. But like things like soccer or I think there was a point where somebody asked my brother if he wanted to go on like tour with this group to do like a dance thing because he was a good dancer, and my mom and dad said no, and he was kind of upset by the whole thing, but they were just not sure, right? Now there's information galore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
now
that's the other thing,
And now
too.
there's also information to be like, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Don't become a DJ.
but you know what I mean? Like, now anybody and their mother can be a fucking podcaster.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So-
exactly.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. But so they get protective of the fact that they're like, the goal is for you to have what we didn't have. Because we gave you what we didn't have. Now go do better. And sometimes you get an injury and your soccer career is over.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So being a girl soccer player, they still don't get the right kind of money, and some of them are better than the men.
Yeah.
That's true.
Actually, I think the women's team like broke up after that movie came out or something along those lines. Like it was supposed to be good for women's soccer. I don't know if it was in the United States or in Britain. But
I don't know. Both those teams now are doing quite well. The Lionesses are doing amazing, and the
Yes,
U.S. national
they
team is the
are.
world champions. So, and there's a World Cup coming this year.
And Canada kicks butt too.
Yeah.
I wish we could win one though. That'd be nice.
Come on, we're so close.
We've
Yeah.
been so close so many times.
But there's one out of everything. Like
How many
wanted
times
to,
have you watched that movie?
I used to watch that movie honestly every weekend.
It's only because she had ABC Family.
Yeah, I know.
and
But,
she has a
like,
huge crush on Keira Knightley.
Well, this was the thing. That's what I took out of that movie the first time I watched it.
Was it
Yeah.
Keira Knightley?
I was like, "This is amazing. Who is this girl?" Then I found out she was the body double of Natalie Portman in Star
Queen
Wars.
Amidala.
I
Yeah.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
She was 16 in that movie.
I was
She was.
also 16.
Yeah.
So it works.
So it worked out.
And I was younger than 16, so it works.
I was,
Yeah.
Hey.
The one, yeah. So the one
Times may not
thing,
work out right for me.
I mean, I did. I mean, well, I guess I'll say Valve, but I did the research anyway. But
Sure you did.
yeah. So
Val, we don't believe her when she says that. You know that, right?
yeah. So Bend It Like Beckham, and this to me was the biggest thing that
Nobody who has ever worked on Bend It Like Beckham has
as much
spoken about this as much as
I
you.
have. But Bend It Like Beckham was the actual first Western film to be allowed in North Korea.
Yeah, because of the football.
Why are you
though.
laughing?
Because of the football. though.
Because of the so
Yeah.
Kim Jong.
I don't think you understand how actually two things on this.
Yeah.
One, I don't think you understand how big Beckham was at the time.
No, but
And-
no, let me get to my point.
Two,
Beckham's
but two,
amazing.
I also like that you've co-opted my India episode by talking about an English movie.
Yeah, no, but this is huge.
Who
guys.
happens to have like 4 Indian characters.
No, but no, there was multiple because there was a wedding. But
right.
this is huge. I mean, they don't allow Western any type of film to go into Korea. But the father of the Kim Jong
Rocket
what's his
Man?
name? Yeah.
Rocket
Yeah,
Man.
Rocket Man. The father of him allowed. That's my grammar is bad on that one. But
It's like Manny
he was
grammar.
He allowed that movie. Like, imagine watching that movie, and then that's your only Like, these North Korea, they don't have anything there. Like, they
Yeah.
don't.
I love
like-
how she's going on about this.
But,
You
like,
I like the idea that somebody in North Korea would watch a movie about a girl that finally getting onto a football team and then realizing that opportunity does not
exist for them. But like that's the thing. Like I wonder if like that's the only thing that they see about Indian culture. Like, imagine that
Maybe.
was your only. That's your only.
Believe me, that's what a lot of people see for Indian culture now,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
like Slumdog Millionaire is one of those movies that the first 10 minutes of it, first 10, 15 minutes of it, really captures Bombay
Careful.
better.
Tash is going to go on for another 20 minutes
I know.
about
I
Slumdog
love
Millionaire.
Slumdog
Yeah,
Millionaire.
but
We
Slumdog,
don't
Mill-
have that kind of time,
Slumdog
Tash.
Millionaire is the kind of movie that really captures India, like captures Bombay really well. Like when I watched it, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like I got a real good feel of what it was, which a lot of Bollywood movies don't even do, because they're
Yeah.
sort of like fantasy-ish,
And they're-
of what
Well,
Bombay
yeah.
is, right? Yeah, that's. I feel like I feel like we're wrapping up here.
I
which
feel
is
like
the thing.
you've
But I want to talk about
Yeah.
one thing before we end.
Ooh, I
One
like
thing.
this.
Actually, kind of a two thing.
Oh, 2 parts.
Yeah. One, I feel like Indian characters get gypped on a lot of American TV shows.
Please elaborate. Don't take too long. though.
No. But like,
Make it quick.
I just feel like they're there, but they're kind of only there for comedic effect.
What, like the guy on Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, I don't watch Big Bang Theory enough to like
To make a comment on it?
comment on it, but I feel like I've just been watching a lot of shows lately where like shows are like we're super inclusive. We have an Indian guy.
Yeah,
But they're never like they never like fully flesh out anything about this Indian guy. They're just like he's here for the numbers.
He's an Indian
right?
dude. Yeah.
And generally people are like, oh, it's cool. He's not black. He's not white. He covers it.
like on House. What's his name?
Cal Penn.
Cal Penn. They always have him. Like I feel like
Do
he's
you
like.
remember how they killed him off?
Oh yeah, that was
They
bad.
didn't even show his face.
I know.
Oh.
It's like so
Well,
bad.
he got a job with Obama.
But he got a job at the White House, right?
No,
So
I
they had to
just-
get
I
rid of him.
sometimes find with shows, sometimes I find with shows like it used to be, and I'm not one of those people. I'm one of the people who want Apu to continue. I think it's a brilliant character, but like I always find he's like one of the few I think that they flesh out his background.
He's the most fleshed out,
Yeah.
I'd say.
But I always find that it's sort of you can make certain jokes at an Indian character's expense that you can't make at like a black character's expense
Yes.
because you can get
Yeah.
away with it.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Because we're
Yeah.
also a little bit like we have a fairly good sense of humor about ourselves, but we allow it to get like taken apart sometimes.
Well, like Big Bang
Yeah.
Theory always has the Wallowitz character doing an Indian accent, making fun of
I think that is
Raj.
his accent though. Oh no, the
No.
other guy. Oh okay.
Yeah.
okay.
He actually doesn't have that big of an accent
Yeah.
at all. He's putting it on even more so, right?
Right.
Another thing, and this is terrible, but
The party?
thoughts
I
exact
knew you
thoughts
were
on the party.
I love the party.
It's awesome,
But
right?
like you gotta think about the party in the. So Tash, the party is a movie.
1960s.
Yeah, and it's about a guy who goes to a party.
Yeah.
An Indian guy who goes to a party.
Yeah.
And just fucking mayhem ensues. It's hilarious. But it's a guy in brown face. Like,
It's Peter Sellers.
it's Peter Sellers as playing an Indian guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. You know what? Again, see, this is the thing. Indian people will watch that and go, "It's a funny movie." Dude plays because inherently Indian people are also kind of racist. what kind of racist to other races and what kind of racist to ourselves?
It's like they'd rather see a white person than an Indian person in that role.
But it is kind of true. Like we, Indian people would like we, in India, Goans are Goan, and then there's those Mangalorians over there.
Yeah.
Punjabis, or whatever. They're like kind of racist to themselves.
They're like neighbors.
Yeah. So, like, we wouldn't have a problem with it. I watched it. I didn't think and I think it's also because it's in black and white.
No, it's
in
full
color,
color.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched and I loved it. Like, it's a great story, and you have to think about it as a product of its time.
I like. Also, when I first saw it, I didn't realize it was Peter Sellers.
Really?
I honestly thought it was an Indian actor.
I mean, dude, look at Gandhi.
I know.
Like,
It's Ben Kingsley,
It's Ben
but I
Kingsley.
think he
He
has
some
Indian lineage in him.
Yeah.
Like, he's got some Indian heritage.
I'm not terribly.
It's there.
They get
It's
away
just
with it
enough to
slightly.
get away with it.
He's Native American. But I think, and I'll tell you one of the reason why this got me going. It's only because, why the fuck does Nick Cannon wear a turban? He wears a turban everywhere,
Yeah.
and he gets no grief about it,
Yeah.
right? But like the
Because
minute,
it's a fashion statement.
but some white dude wears fucking dreads, and people will rip
Lose.
them apart.
Yeah.
Well, to quote Dave Chappelle, "Fuck Nick Cannon."
yeah.
I'm saying it.
I'm 100% with you. on that.
I'm there.
But that's my whole thing. It's just like,
Yeah.
We don't want him.
neither does Mariah
I know, yeah.
Yeah, she dumped his ass years ago.
and Christina Milian.
yeah, nobody
She
wants
dumped
that
his
guy.
ass years ago.
and America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. I always see stuff like that where people sort of I know I'm not one of those people who like when I see white women wearing saris or whatever, or Indian guys wearing like white dudes wearing like Indian clothing.
Yeah.
I don't consider that like co-opting our culture or anything like that. I think it's
Cultural
cool.
appropriation.
Yeah, I think it's cool that you're like embracing it, right?
So, okay.
But I think it's kind of it is kind of weird that we're sort of just they're okay with it. I think you've made this point before with sort of Italians. You can sort of make fun of Italians.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. I mean, I don't know how many episodes of Family Guy just takes jabs at Italians. I sent the one video, right?
Oh my
where
God. There's one episode of Family Guy where they call a pizza shop, and it's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. But yeah,
Peter, just because you have a mustache doesn't mean you can speak Italian. Bibbidi bobbidi, right? It's just
But are you basing that what you just said off of the way somebody? Because my grandmother's grandmother is full Indian.
great grandmother.
Yeah, no, my grandmother's grandmother.
so your great grandmother.
great grandmother is like she came from India. So
Oh no!
we're cousins.
Gross.
I'm related to you too, Irishman.
I renounce my citizenship.
I renounce it.
No,
But like, I mean,
so Manny does have a little Indian in him.
Ew, gross. Oh no,
But
we're
yeah,
going
okay.
off the rails.
Sorry, you were saying though.
Yeah.
Finish it off.
But like, would you feel like if I wore because I've worn turbans before, like
That just weirds me out because usually turbans are for guys.
Oh, okay, yeah, but in like your in the culture,
In
it's
Sikh
only
culture, only guys wear.
only guys
Yeah.
wear it. Okay,
Yes, only the dudes.
because I've seen females wear
They
it
wear,
too.
well, they wear like a scarf. I've seen. You're right.
Like,
I've seen some women wear it, but
yeah.
like generally guys wear it.
Okay,
I shouldn't say it's only for guys. But no, here's the thing: if you wore an Indian dress and came,
I
over,
have a sorry.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
wore it and you came, I wouldn't be like, bitch.
Yeah,
You
like-
know
Yeah, what the
Like,
fuck you wearing that for? Yeah.
And
Then
I
you
would-
come out with like African garb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I have a shirt that kind of looks like one.
Oh man.
Yeah, like look, you don't give me grief about Lion King. I want you to give you grief about Bend It Like Beckham.
I actually want to give you dreads. That's actually.
I would love dreads.
Yeah, yeah.
I would love dreads.
Did I ever tell you Josh did that once?
Oh my
No,
God.
sorry, he did cornrows.
Dancer
It was a
Josh?
yeah, Dancer Josh. It was a bet.
Who could look most like a cast member from Oz?
It was me and another guy we used to hang out with at the time. We said, "Hey Josh, we'll bet you $50 to grow your hair out and do cornrows."
Who's more likely to die tonight?
He grew his hair out for a year and then did cornrows, and they stayed in there for like 2 months.
Oh my god!
He did not take them out for a while.
Like they must have and his hair is thin, and he won't even. Okay, well,
No, his hair is pretty thick. It's not like coarse, but it's thick.
Yeah, but like after 2 months and you have to sleep on that.
I don't know. He kept them for a while.
It's
Though.
like, it must have
I was like, Josh, this is gross. You gotta get rid of him. No, man. I said, I bet you guys for 50.
You
Like,
know
all
why?
right.
It probably cost him $100 to do it. He lost money on the deal.
Yeah, man. He went to some like legit like Jamaican barbershop and everything to get it done.
Yeah,
It
and
looked
they
like,
must have been laughing the whole
like-
time.
The lady really pulled his hair tight and he was in pain.
Yeah,
he must have looked like the sweetest white girl coming back from the Dominican Republic.
He did. Well, now that we've completely gone
yes,
off the rails,
yeah.
I think it's time to
We should end this. But
end
yeah,
this.
final
Final thoughts.
I think just final thoughts. Honestly, for me, I'll end it on this. When I was growing up, my cousins went to the States on vacation. I was in Dubai, and they showed us pictures of Niagara Falls.
Right.
And I told my mom about it. My mom's like, well, that's just something they can do it. They've got money, right? It's just something.
Yeah.
I never in my wildest fucking dreams thought I would even see the States. And now I'm like an hour and a half away from it, and I'm like, we can go down for a weekend.
yeah.
So like,
And we have
and
many
we
a
have-
time.
yeah, and like literally, that's the thing that that seems to be like a real strong point in my mind, is that everything that I'm experiencing now, whether it's like seeing soccer games or
Right.
concerts or doing like cool shit in here, I should not be experiencing it. It's happening because like something happened and we made it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I always think about that. I always think about like I'm able to do these kind of cool things because like if you think wherever you are is garbage, it's probably not. It's
No.
just, there's cool things that you could experience, and you're probably experiencing it that other people can't. And if you look at it that way, your life gets a little bit better.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Don't take
And-
things for granted.
Exactly. Anyways, guys, and
What's next week? Jamaica?
we're
Japan. No, it's Jamaica. Yeah.
we're traveling to Jamaica.
Yeah,
We're
man.
traveling to Jamaica via Ireland and India.
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, man. All right.
Are you gonna talk like that the whole episode
I might.
next week?
I might.
Please
I might.
don't.
Please don't.
Please don't. Can you just be Tash?
Can you
and
come
not
here in your
just this-
turban and sari?
Yeah.
Can you please just be Tash and not some cartoon
I
version
know.
of Tash?
But I'm Jamaican. That's who I am.
But no,
and
you're not.
We'll yeah,
You
well,
are not.
The white guy is telling me.
No, you're not a cartoon version of it. You're not
You're
a
not a
fucking.
cartoon. Yeah.
You're not a
know,
fucking walking stereotype.
Yeah, but I am Jamaican, and
I'm
I
not
will,
denying
I
that.
will tell you why next week.
I'll tell you why. Is it because your parents were born there?
No. Yes, they were. You took the whole show for me, Dwen.
And we're done. Next week will be about Manuel.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening.
Yes, thank
I'm
you
Joey
very much.
Mangione,
I'm Tasha Morrison.
I am Dwen Norona.
and Creepy Uncle Manny wishes you all guys a adieu. It's a shame. It's a shame he couldn't finish the show.
We will end this episode on a song by Lorna, the go-and singer I was talking about before. It's
Yes.
called Bed Though. And the song is about a woman leaving her abusive husband, and it rocks.
Yes.
I love it.
Do not choose combo number 5.
Go, girl.
No ship moje gosle ketna jachintu nasle kona kadina kaga saiba maka bogla tosle go makamyola bebdo saiba kazar zamun bosle magi tokite munda jana yo